Hi, welcome to another episode of A Clinical Pharmacist Life. Today's topic that we would be discussing is statins and the role of pharmacists in the statin use. We know that a statin being used for the primary and secondary prevention of cardiovascular event. There are different statins available. The most commonly used is atorvastatin, rosuvastatin. The other one is simvastatin. Less likely pravastatin and lovastatin have been used. A pharmacist should be knowing the potency range of all these drugs. The statins have been classified into three intensity classes, that is low intensity, moderate intensity, and high intensity. The lower side includes simvastatin. The moderate one includes 20 to 40 mg of atorva and rosuvastatin, and 5 mg of rosuvastatin is also in the moderate one. In the high intensity is atorva 80 milligram, and the higher doses of rosuvastatin. What this intensity tells about is the capacity of the statin to reduce the LDL and to achieve the goal of one. One of the major things that a pharmacist have to understand is the ADR of a statin, that is of myalgia and rhabdomyolysis. A pharmacist can play a major role in the prevention of this ADR. It occurs with respect to the doses. It occurs based on age. It also occurs because of drug interactions. One of the most common drug interactions that I observe is azithromycin and atorvastatin. It is and unfortunately not many pharmacists intervene on those one. What atorva causes is increase the bioavailability of atorva in the blood, and that's the increase, and hence increase the chances of myalgia and rhabdomyolysis by inhibiting CYP3A4, if I can recall correctly. In such cases, what I do when patient comes and with a prescription of azithromycin, and he's an elderly patient, I usually ask whether he is taking a statin or not. If the patient is taking a statin, I usually recommend not to take statin for till the course of azithromycin has been finished. And it's a recommendation, so you will find many references on those one also. The other thing is what one can do if a myalgia has been complained. There is a lab test that is known as creatine kinase that is going to be done, and which tells about the rhabdomyolysis. This test is not recommended on a regular basis unless the patient complains about myalgia and there is no other obvious reasons of myalgia. This test is not being indicated. One other thing that a pharmacist has to be involved is the non-adherence of statin. Unfortunately, there are 40 to 50% of the patient do not adhere to the doses and recommendations of statins. I remember there's a paper product has been into the process to reduce the chance of non-adherence, that has an yearly based efficacy one to reduce the chances of non-adherence. I do not know how long it will take to come into the market. I think so. It is in the market, but I'm not so sure whether it is available in Pakistan yet. Uh, what else? Geriatric one. The pharmacist has to play a role in the geriatric above 75 years old. When the patient and above 75 years old are being observed that do not take statin, the meta-analysis has shown that the statin has a very positive result on patient above 75 years old. It can reduce 23% of cardiovascular event above 75 also. Pharmacists can play a role on all three of these things in non-adherence and avoiding reducing the chances of myalgia, and the third in increased use of statin in geriatric one. I hope you find this video useful. Kindly keep messaging me and letting me know if there is any other questions, and if I have said something that is incorrect, kindly let me know so that I can correct it also. Thank you very much. Keep yourself healthy and keep spreading the knowledge. Take care of yourself. Bye from Mohammed Amir.